Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if in case my voice is perfectly audible to everyone. Yeah, so I'm audible? Okay. Thanks, Kritika. Thank you so much. So we'll just start shortly within a minute. I'm expecting some more people to join, and I don't want anybody to lose on the information and the thoughts that we are going to discuss today. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to all who connected to the webinar today. We highly appreciate your presence. I hope you are equally excited as we will discuss some of the most important reasons you should invest in your careers with the technologies that are upcoming to these days. In today's webinar, you will take away some key facts about the global market conditions for aspiring tech students and the skills necessary for high-ranking and modern jobs in the technology and health industries. My name is Yash Pandey. I'm a career advisor at Nuovos by AADYAH University. We appreciate you giving us some precious time, especially on a Sunday, and we'll make sure the session hands you some valuable information. So let me first brief you all a bit about Nuovos. Nuovos is a modern-day extension to the AADYAH University, offering future-friendly educational programs for the trailblazers, risk-takers, dreamers, innovators, and doers of tomorrow. AADYAH University belongs to the reputable DY Patil group of institutions and is known for fostering innovation. We have a legacy of 38 plus profound years as we represent the DY Patil group. The group of activities encompasses the field of educational technology, healthcare technology, agriculture, food technology, space technology, and sports technology as well. Before we get into the discussion, let's have a quick look at this video to understand Nuovos better. Let's watch the video together.
$97 million sounds like a big number, and it is, because that's the number of jobs that tech is expected to create by 2025. But let's rewind, shall we? Back to the now that is working in collaboration with AI in the workplace, the now that is leading businesses through digitalization, because the now is where you create the new. Because only when you learn, you can create. And at Nuovos by AADYAH, we help you find a platform that lets you lead the change. Whether it be through tech-driven programs that let you find your specialization, or management learnings that can let you lead the world. Start today and find the path that lets you choose your future. AADYAH Nuovos, where you create the new. Open for admissions now.
Yeah, so that was very informative, wasn't it? I'm sure you guys would have had a short brief about what exactly is the main reason we are over here today. So today we are here to discuss our BTech and MTech programs in detail, how valuable these are and how valuable these can prove for the coming prospects when it comes to your future career options. Well, I believe you all are preparing for the most evolving sector in the world, which is the BTech in consumer technology, MTech space technology, and MTech in digital health and innovation. It becomes confusing to make up your mind after seeing technological advancements in various industries these days. You must be worried about which degree should be most relevant for your career, what you must study, which internship you need, and all other concerns. Let's clear all doubts and give you a straight path to success. Let's hear the top reasons to pursue a BTech or an MTech degree from our program leaders today. We request all the attendees to post all your questions, your queries, your doubts in the chat box. We will try getting those answered during the session or in the Q&A round, which you will be taking by the end of this session. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our program leader for engineering, Dr. Vijayakumar Varadarajan. Dr. Vijay is a highly skillful and dedicated computer scientist and engineer honored with a PhD with over 20 plus years of experience in education for both national and international students. His managerial experience in industries and various organizations focuses on future innovation. He believes in cultivating a positive environment for internal and external collaborations. For an organization to thrive and succeed, these are some of the most important aspects and qualities which we need, right? He also has 9 different patents to his name, and Dr. Varadarajan has received numerous awards and recognitions from various international institutions and organizations for his exemplary career. To name a few, he's been the adjunct professor at the University of New South Wales and even a professor and associate dean at WIDI University in Chennai. So without wasting any time further, let's begin. Unfortunately, Mr. Varadarajan is unavailable because he is traveling. On his behalf, I would like to introduce Trupti Tauri and Ranjit Kumar from Dr. Vijayakumar's team. And I mean, it's all up to you, Mr. Sauri and Mr. Kumar. Could you please just give us a short brief about on behalf of Dr. Varadarajan?
Very good afternoon, all. This is Ranjit Kumar from AADYAH. Very good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Over to the Kelvin, sir.
Yeah, so we have Trupti, ma'am. I'm sure even she is available. Mr. Kumar, Dr. Trupti is available?
No, sir.
Okay. We also have Dr. Kelvin, who is an experienced biomedical scientist, bioengineer, molecular, life sciences, forensic engineering expert, educator, application specialist, and a technical support person. He has more than 10 years of active working experience in clinical research and educational sector. Welcome you, sir, Mr. Kelvin. Could you please just give your short thoughts and maybe a short introduction about yourself, sir?
All right. Thank you so much for bringing me in. I'm excited to be here. All right, thank you. I think we'll have a great time.
We all are very excited. We all are very excited to hear from you, sir. Welcome to this session today. So next we have Dr. Phillip Scott as the Program Director, Wales Institute of Digital Innovation and University of Wales, Trinity St. David. He'll enlighten us on health technology and digital health programs. Dr. Phillip worked in NHS from 1994 to 2009, and since then in academic health and care informatics. Dr. Scott.
Good morning. Thanks for the invitation. Nice to be here with everyone, and I look forward to telling you a bit more about the program very shortly. So thank you.
Welcome aboard, sir. Next, we have Dr. Malcolm Claus, Program Advisor for Space Technology, MTech in Space Technology to be precise. Dr. Malcolm Claus has held diverse positions at Kingston University as a senior lecturer for astronautics and space technology, where he simultaneously handled research and training responsibilities. He became the course director and module leader for both space modules. Dr. Claus has been promoting and developing the astronautics and space tech course focus on problems and project-based learning through research and outcomes. He has been handling projects for the School of Engineering. His commitment to the progress of the new propulsion test facility is an asset to the teaching and development of future propulsion and space engineers. Welcome, sir. Welcome aboard.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Look forward to talking with you.
Good afternoon. Welcome aboard, sir. Next, we have Mr. Saju Stephen, Chairman and Managing Director, AADYAH Aerospace Private Limited, and Mr. Pradeep Kumar, CTO, AADYAH Aerospace, to this webinar and help you gain. I mean, they definitely are an add-on, and they are the persons who have real-life practical experience when it comes to aerospace, aeronautics, all these technologies. And it would be really grateful for you both to stay over here and enlighten our students about the latest trends and technologies and the upcoming programs that are there in the space technology sector. Welcome you both, sir. Dr. Stephen, yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening. So I would just want to take some time and elaborate a bit upon the exact reason why we have some unconventional and niche programs, which actually are in great demand and are yet to be provided by any other institution in the country. We have BTech in consumer tech and not your regularized pivot to science, your mechanical, electrical, electronics, all these conventional programs. We have MTech in space technology, MTech in digital health and innovation. And the main reason towards us innovating and understanding the current latest trends of the market, research that has been done by us, a projection has been made to the next 15, 20 years where we realize that these sectors are definitely going to have a boom and great number of job opportunities, job options, employment options, and growth scope is available when it comes to these areas. So I would just want to take some time and elaborate upon the consumer technology. Now, I'm sure we all are consumers. We definitely are customers. We are consumers. We consume various products and services on the regular course of our life, right? But what exactly is this consumer technology? Consumer technology has the three main aspects or the most important products and services which any consumer uses. First is food. I mean, regular food. Without food and water, it's difficult for anyone to survive, right? The next is health. Of course, health is really very important. It is the health which enables us to work, to make some finances, and then lead our life in a comfortable way, right? And the third is education. Without education, it's again difficult to make money to definitely survive. And the final one is financial technology, which is fintech. Now, it actually is a subpart of consumer technology because in the end of the day, it's finance which definitely enables us to procure food, to to also have a good quality of health that we expect and lead a suitable life. So in the past 2.5 years of pandemic, I mean, before pandemic as well, we had these food technology platforms, we had educational technology platforms, food technology like Zomato or Swiggy, educational technology like maybe edtech platforms like WIDI, which again does not need any introduction from us. We have many big giants like Upgrad, we have Great Learning, we have many of these education technology platforms. In fact, many of the coaching institutions and tuitions went from their offline module to an online format during these 2.5 years. So that's educational technology to be precise. And the final one is health technology, wherein people who were unable to visit a doctor and get themselves scrutinized and checked physically made certain appointments through a video conferencing session. Companies like Practo, which is again a very good example of health technology. The gyms were closed, the fitness organizations were closed, people could not attend their yoga classes, people could not go to the gym and have their weight training. Definitely people subscribed to their online applications where through a video communication based medium, people used to avail these services. So the 2.5 years actually proved a boon for these consumer technology organizations when all the economies of the world, all the other sectors of the market were having a downfall where it was getting very difficult for those segments to survive. And that's one reason why today over here, we have these three segments of the market, which actually challenged the pandemic situation and proved out to be a boon and proved out to be a great scope during that point in time. These organizations were mere small organizations and became, and grew at an amazing level. They became really viable. They made huge amount of profits and then became a sector or a part of the country which really productivity aligned, really provided off to our GDP. So that exactly is one of the reasons why we have these three programs. But then I'm sure this is just a feasibility part or maybe the business side that I'm elaborating upon. We have here all our dignitaries who definitely would focus upon the career prospects in these sectors. So I would definitely want Dr. Phillip Scott to share some light on the health tech and talk about the Wales Institute of Digital Innovation. Over to you, Dr. Scott.
Okay, thank you very much, Yash. So let me just share my screen for a moment. I'll just run through a few quick slides with you to introduce that. So can you see that okay? Okay, so as Yash said, I'm a Programme Director at the University of Wales, Trinity St David, and that's part of the Wales Institute of Digital Information, which is a multi-organisation collaboration I'll describe in a moment. I'm also at a national level, I'm chair of the British Computer Society Health and Care Group. So we do a lot of work with national agencies, the NHS in England, NHS in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, as a professional body trying to raise the importance of continuing professional development. So what I'm going to talk about in this brief presentation, as Yash said, is what are the knowledge and skills that you need for careers in healthcare technology, and then what subjects are we covering, how we're developing it, delivering it, and what WIDI is doing as a collaboration here in Wales. So knowledge and skills, well, health technology is a very broad area. You saw in that little video clip at the beginning, just a very short sample, but there's so many different kinds of careers. So things like business analysis, we need to learn about process mapping, workflow, modeling. And then in software engineering, we need to understand design, user experience, testing, performance and safety. And with healthcare devices, things like standards like smart on fire, monitoring and privacy. With data science, very important area of understanding machine learning, natural language processing, visualization of data, as well as infrastructure things such as cybersecurity, storage, networking, resilience, these basic things, but they still have to be looked after. Interoperability requires understanding terminologies and data structures used in healthcare. And knowledge management requires understanding decision support and computable guidelines. And then transforming services. So that requires understanding of leadership, behavior change, and collaboration. And then very practically in project and program management, we need to understand the methods, the tools, and the best practices. So the subjects where we draw upon international criteria. So we're part of the International Medical Informatics Association. We have extensive practical and academic experience within the team. And so we're able to bring in the latest technology and policy developments. And so the logos there are just a selection of some of the bodies that we work with, both within the UK and internationally, to bring together this expertise. So some of the subjects, well, we need to introduce you to recent advances in healthcare technology across that whole spectrum of topics which I mentioned. And then some specifics are around mHealth, mobile health, where we think so often about using apps, but also connecting those apps to electronic health records. And then understanding the difference between the different kind of healthcare systems that technology works within. So, for example, the differences between how healthcare works in India or other Asian countries compared to Europe or America or other parts of the world. And then we look very specifically at some of the particular systems that are used in healthcare provider organizations and the differences that exist between, for example, hospitals, mental health, social care, and primary care. And then very importantly, we start to get into some of the health data standards from HR7, from SNOMED, ICD, and IDMP. And then thinking about the application of this, we talk about systems thinking. So soft systems, general system theory, and taking a socio-technical understanding of the problems we're addressing. So we deliver this as a mixture of on-campus teaching through the AADYPU team and online sessions delivered by the WIDI faculty. And that's both our own in-house faculty and international and national speakers that we bring in. So as well as lectures, we have seminars with group activity, assigned reading, and some practical exercises as part of those sessions. So WIDI, as I mentioned, is this collaborative setup between three organizations, and it has a focus on workforce and skills development, R&D, and product and service innovation. And it does this by bringing together three organizations. So we have the leadership of the WIDI Institute shown here, myself, along with Professor Ware from University of South Wales, Professor Ian Wells, and Professor Wendy Deering. And on the right-hand side there, you just see some of the range of courses we do, from very basic apprenticeship level right up to PhDs. And we're currently running a Welsh Government-funded master's programme, and in the near future, we're running a European conference in Cardiff. So some of the other activities where we're active in research, this is a randomised trial we're doing about prescribing support. We often are asked to write expert opinion pieces in the trade press, and this is an editorial which I was asked to write recently for the British Medical Journal. So there's a general recognition of the profile and expertise of WIDI. So I hope that gives you some idea of the course, the skills it's delivering, and the qualifications of WIDI as an institute to deliver that for you. So thanks, and happy to take any questions.
Sure, it was really very insightful. I'm sure you guys would have had some better insights to what Thursday shared with us. Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have Mr. Ranjit, who definitely would want to share his thoughts about the consumer technology sector and would definitely enlighten us all about what exactly are the current trends and the latest demands for the consumer tech, B-Tech in consumer tech. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon, sir. Kelvin sir, you can go. Kelvin sir?
Pardon, sir?
Kelvin sir is doing.
Yes. Dr. Ranjit, it's your turn to just give us a short brief about consumer technology industries.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so do we have Trupti ma'am over here? Okay, no worries. You just take that shortly, guys. You move on with the next person. So we have Dr. Claus. Dr. Claus, could you please just share your thoughts about MTech in space technology and why is it that we call it as a new age program? Over to you, Dr. Claus.
Sorry, you broke up. Could you repeat your question?
Yes, Dr. Claus, I would just request you to share your thoughts a bit about, in short, about MTech in space technology, the space technology sector, its growth prospects, and why is it that we call it as a new age program?
Well, the current growth in the space sector is being driven by quite a lot of new commercial activities. Those commercial activities will require a well-skilled workforce to obviously move those forwards. We're seeing in terms of growth areas with regards to space tech, and hence the reason behind the MTech in space technology. Those areas consist of both upstream and downstream, and by upstream we mean things such as launch vehicles. So there are many new startups across the world looking at developing new launch vehicles or different types of rocket propulsion. There are also newer startups that are looking at different sorts of space applications. We're seeing quite a lot of growth in constellations of satellites and what they can actually do. So all of these things are being heavily driven by technology, and technology which is now being derived for the space sector itself. The other aspect when we consider the space industry is to look at the downstream. And so the upstream is the hardware side, the downstream is what we do with that data, whether it be Earth observation information or telecommunications. It's all of these areas that are pulling together technology and technology development, and they'll be the growth areas to come. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Dr. Claus, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really very insightful for all of us. Dr. Kelvin, I would just again request you to share your thoughts about the consumer.
Oh yeah, all right, I'm in here. I'm around.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share just a little slide.
Yes, sir.
For the purpose of just making the explanation faster. Okay, so briefly, consumer technology embraces technology, that's AI, artificial intelligence, in meeting simple human needs. And in consumer tech the consumer tech program covers embraces education, the educational aspect, food, which is of course essential to humans, and also education, as well health. To buttress this, we have we have application these days in different aspects in the hospital, just like what Philip has already emphasized on. We have integration of machines instead of having humans transcribe results directly from laboratory indices, laboratory results into papers. You can have this transmitted directly into your phones as patients. You can have this also integrated directly within the laboratory, and also at the hospitals to actually make sure that the patient have his or her information in real time, even at home. So it embraces consumer tech. It actually covers a whole lot. Today we will talk about today we talk about Facebook and other aspects, which are basic things that everybody knows about and all those things. But it's more broader than that. And the essence of this program is to try to bring into form a good number of people across the globe will actually understand and embrace the new phase of life. So today, robots handle a lot of things. COVID-19 came up, and we talk about having robots sharing face masks and so on, instead of having humans sharing face masks and so on. So it cuts across education, food packaging, food sterilization, health, education generally. Then it's broad. It's a very broad field, and it's a field that I would encourage everyone to, no matter the field that you're into, whether management, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, or whatever aspect you've already gone through before, to actually come in and go through this program, because it's essential for the 21st century. I don't want to go too far, but I understand quite all right that for today, we talk about Elon Musk developing a new home in a different planet. What is going to aid that planet is simply consumer tech. And it's what we are talking about today. So I don't know if you have more questions, if you have any questions as a result of this, because I don't want to take much of our time, but as the question rolls up, as the question comes in, we can easily answer it and make us understand whatever aspect we need clarification about. Thank you.
Dr. Kelvin, thank you so much. So Dr. Kelvin, I mean, out of just a bit of inquisitiveness that I have, I would just want to understand, I mean, this consumer technology has always been existed, right? I mean, it was there 50 years ago, even 100 years ago, right? But why is it that consumer technology has gained emphasis? I mean, all the emphasis during this pandemic situation. I mean, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, sir, because this particular terminology is something which is really very new for all the people in India. And in fact, even I, as one of the counselors for Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, was really very new. And it's just been quite some time that I was introduced to this particular terminology. Dr. Kelvin. Dr. Kelvin?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it that you want
consumer tech has always been there? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, consumer tech has always been there, but the emphasis today on consumer tech was made popular because of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in most of the industries, education. You have online meetings with students, and that application alone met the need for education. And in health also, we also had introduction of telemedicine then properly, where you have your doctor's consultation at the comfort of your home. And so it's been there, but today we are we are rather trying to emphasize on it and make it known, and also understand the instrumentation, the application that were associated with all those things that were seen then during the COVID-19. Apart from that, it's a broad field. It's a very broad field, and consumer tech program for us today, we are looking at just embracing health, which covers agriculture and you harvesting your product, your farm products, treating them, packaging them, instrumentation technicalities that would have been associated with those packaging, as well as knowing and understanding when you're going to have expiration dates for each of those products. How is it going to be tailored? Then when you talk about education also, a bit of it was seen during the COVID-19, and in health also the telemedicine. So it's always been there, but today it's more like we are re-emphasizing on it and making it known that it's actually a program that can be done, that can be run, and there are a lot of advantages, and there are a lot of prospects associated with the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kelvin. Dr. Kelvin, I would just want to disturb you once again. I have one more question for you, sir. So, I mean, I'm sure this is a global trend that we all have seen. During the pandemic, people moved ahead with taking facilities from doctor consultations online classes, lectures were going on through an edtech platform. People, since they could not go to a restaurant for having some good time, having lunch or dinner or maybe breakfast with their parents and family, you started ordering food online, right? But once this pandemic situation was on the verge, when it was under control, when gradually and slowly all the operations started getting on track, when restaurants opened up, when universities, schools, classes started taking lectures in their offline format itself, when doctors were available at the hospitals to completely check their patients in a physical format, still the reduction in the number of services availed, which was expected as a trend after pandemic, has yet not been that prominent, and people have got used to these services because of pandemic. Do you seriously feel that pandemic created a gap and maybe created a space wherein people got used to or got addicted to these particular platforms and are now making it a regular part of their life?
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Kelvin. Dr. Kelvin. I guess Dr. Kelvin has some network issues. So we would move ahead with AADYAH Aerospace. So I'm very excited to announce that AADYAH Aerospace has collaborated with Ajinkya D.Y. Patil University, Nuovos, for the internship opportunities of students in space technology, MTech in space technology. AADYAH Aerospace provides aeronautics, space and defense engineering and technology solutions in India and works closely with the Indian government projects for satellite design, production and launch systems. I would just request Dr. Sajul Stephen and Dr. Pradeep Kumar to share their thoughts in a bit about how AADYAH Space is going to help us at Nuovos. Over to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for this opportunity to present what AADYAH and how we collaborate with ADYPU University with regard to this Masters in Space Technology.
Thank you so much, sir. Welcome, sir.
All right. I will quickly walk you through a short presentation, which gives you an insight on how important space technology is. Whether we realize it or not, space plays a very critical role, but we take it for granted. I always compare the satellite technology, which is providing a hidden plumbing. And today, because when we open our phone, we expect data to be available. Just like when we open a tap, we expect water to flow. Now, little do we know, the water is flowing because a plumbing that is there, which we take it for granted. Similarly, when we open our phone, we expect data to be available. And that data enabler is a constellation of satellites. For example, if you look at television, We watch all the cricket matches live, whether sitting in UK. Recently, we must have watched the India-England series. We are able to watch it live, but then we are able to watch it live because that live program is being uplinked by a satellite terminal, and that is uplinking it to the satellite, and from the satellite, the content distribution is happening. Or we are also familiar, we take it for granted, an Uber, a Swiggy, or Zomato. All the hyperlocal apps enable us to, to get what we want, to go where we want, or a Google Maps for that matter. Now that is enabled, the underlying technology is a constellation of geographical positioning satellites. The same with regard to a weather forecast, whether it's going to rain, or we can get up to 5-minute accurate forecast of weather these days. So much so in the US, the satellites or the space technology drives 5 trillion of economic activity. But we take it for granted. And in the space world, the satellites are moving from large satellites, which is earlier, they used to be, say, 6.5 tons and above. And they used to be 26 feet by 12 feet by 11 feet. And these large satellites used to be taking 2 years from a design to launch. And they should be built for 15 to 20 years of lifespan. Now, as you and me know, a satellite is nothing but like your telephone or a mobile phone. And these mobile phones pick up signals, it sends signals, it picks up images and sends images. Now, if your mobile phone is getting obsolete in less than 1 year, what happens to these big satellites, which are launched for 15 years after 2 to 3 years of their launch? They essentially become brick in space where you don't get the quality of data that you need, or at the speed that you need, or it is not having the computing power that you would need. As a result of which, the new philosophy of space is moving from big to small. So from bigger satellites, we are talking about smaller satellites, which are like maybe 300 kilograms, and they're by 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, small cubes that are going up. And instead of launching one big satellite with transponders, you normally launch a constellation of satellites, maybe around 120 satellites. And you don't launch all these at one go. You launch maybe 10 satellites in the first 3 months. In the next 3 months, you launch another 10 satellites. But the next 10 satellites that you launch is the next generation of satellites that you would have, or what we call as launching an iPhone 9, iPhone 10, and iPhone 11, which is smaller size, weight, shorter development times, latest technology, higher processing capacity, and it becomes cheaper and cheaper for you to afford any of these satellites. Now, in that particular context, the small satellites industry is growing, and the industry is moving from a 366 billion globally. The space economy is forecasted to be around $3 trillion by 2040. So phenomenal growth that is happening. And I'm sure a lot of you read about the space tourism of Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson or Elon Musk wanting to have a Mars habitation by 2050, or NASA wanting to take people back to the moon by 2025. So a lot of these programs are gathering momentum, and as a result of which, space economy is going to boom globally. And it's very good to know that among the global countries, only 6 countries had design and launch capabilities for space assets. And India is one of those 6 countries. And the others being US, Russia, China, Japan, and European Space Agency. So we are the 6th, one of the 6 countries that have significant experience. So people like our CTO, Pradeep Kumar, comes with 39 years of experience of having designed and launched space systems. Now, in this particular space economy, our vision is to be a globally integrated design to manufacture for space assets, essentially satellites, across India, United Arab Emirates, and the US. And we plan to have, we already have offices in the US. We are looking at setting up something in the UAE very soon. And this is the various things that we are doing. But let me not take too much of space and too much of time, but just want to give you, when you talk about space, what are we talking about? So taking you back to your geography classes. So an aircraft flies at around 12 to 13 kilometers. There is a low Earth orbit, which is at around from up to 2,000 kilometers from sea level. You've got a low Earth orbit. And then you've got a geosynchronous Earth orbit, which is around 35,786 kilometers. And then you've got the moon, which is around 3,84,000 kilometers. And the Mars, which is around 54.6 million kilometers away from the sea level. Now, if you want to launch anything, you need to have a launch vehicle. And these launch vehicles would carry humans, it will carry satellites, it will carry a lunar lander or a lunar rover. These launch vehicles are very important. And then you need to have satellites, which are operating at both LEO as well as the GEO. You will have different constellation of satellites for LEO and GEO. And then as more and more launches happen, more and more satellites go in, there is a lot of litter in the space. So you need to have technologies that handle space debris tracking, space debris remediation crafts, which can go and grab the debris and bring it back to the Earth to clean up the Earth's the orbit. Then you have space tugs that will move satellites or any space asset from a lower Earth orbit to a higher Earth orbit. So you have got space tugs which will pull these space assets. And then if you are talking about lunar to the moon, a mission to the moon consists of lunar landers, lunar rovers, both human and cargo. And the similar with regard to Mars, where you already must have read about Perseverance or the other rovers that are out there sending us photographs about Mars. So you need to have a Mars lander as well as Mars rovers as well. So when you talk about space technology, this is where there is significant opportunity for us to build systems and platforms. And that's what we focus on. So Pradeep, if you can enlighten the participants about what you see. For example, you have been a pioneer with regard to the Indian launch program. And so Pradeep's 39 years of space experience in India. Anything that you see flying from Indian space program, whether it's a launch vehicle or a satellite, or even an aircraft, whether it's the Tejas, Pradeep has been, must have had some role in that, or a significant role in the launch vehicles, as well as in satellites, and a smaller role in the light compact aircraft that India has. Pradeep, over to you. If you can explain to the team, to all the participants, what all technologies and how can a student aspire to be a space scientist?
Thank you, Saju. It was a very well presented all the space requirements as such. Now I will just take the team to about the technology. See, it looks so simple that, okay, rocket goes up and then it carries a satellite. But if you look for the various branches of engineering which is required to do this activity, if you look at any branch of engineering, let it be mechanical, electrical, electronics, control system, metallurgy, chemical, all sorts of branches are there to contribute. Like if I have a propulsion system there, I need a chemical engineer, propulsion engineer, then we have to contain the whole rocket body. With high pressure, I need a very good metallurgical engineer, then I need a control system engineer. So what happens, all these subjects are taught independently. But now when we talk of a post-graduation in space science, there we are trying to bring the effect of the interconnectivity of all the branches, how they are interrelated. Like if I say a simple example, I'll take a control system. A control system is what? I have to steer the vehicle wherever I am planning. So for that, I need some device, which I say thrust vector to be controlled. I need a device to move the thrust vector. For moving that thrust vector, moving the device, I have to have a device which produces the force. For producing force, I need a mechanical system mechanism. Then I need electrical system to rotate it. I need a metallurgical system where it survives all the material requirements. I need a control system. I need one electronics. So when I look at all these branches of the engineering are required to do one simple control system for launch vehicle. The same way when you go in the launch vehicle, starting from the propulsion, then we are going to this flight dynamics. Because once anything flies up, it is in free space. And what is the way it is going to behave? That will be knowing in the flight dynamics. It will tell me what sort of wind conditions are there, how I am going out of the wind conditions, and how I am controlling my vehicle in that. And now it crosses that, then we are having the structures. The structure should survive whatever sort of loads are coming on the system because of the thrusting sources or because of the wind loads. Various types of loads are there. So those things also is taught. So when I have seen, because I was part of the curriculum preparation, all these branches of engineering and how they are interlinked for the purpose of space technology. In this course, we are very well knowing about that. Certainly, if I have to say that it's like, any automobile engineer cannot make an automobile car totally designed immediately after that graduation. He has to think of which part of that he wants to pay more attention. Here also, if after going through all that, a person with a basic background of, let us say, mechanical cannot certainly go to the embedded system and software, but he can go to the structure. But you certainly get a clear sort of perspective that how each are interlinked. And the moment that sort of that the systems approach comes in picture, then it becomes much simpler for any body to take it forward in the, let us say, space field. Somebody can go in the space technology. After this course, somebody can go to the propulsion. Somebody can take it sort of, flight dynamics. Somebody can take control system. So this is the way it is there. So I thought that the particular course proposed by this institution is certainly will be very, very useful for the future generation. And as Shaju has explained already, there is a big, big demand for the space technology in future. So this will be very, very useful for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phillip sir. So, I mean, just extending on the same concepts, I actually have a question from one of our student joinees today.
Yeah.
This question is towards Pradeep sir, Mr. Shaju Stephen, and yes, for Dr. Malcolm as well. So there are actually lots of startups in space sector when America, United States of America is concerned as a nation. Definitely there are lots of organizations that have come up in the past 10, 15 years, and many startups are there who are working in the same zone. But this program is really very new for India. And I'm sure the number of startups in India when it comes to space technology is really very limited, or maybe not even available. I definitely am not sure about that. So what can be the future of space technology industries when it comes to jobs as India as a nation is concerned?
Hi, thank you for that question. Let me take a first cut on that. It is not much in the news, but I think in the last count, there are over 25 space startups in the country. One thing, as you rightly mentioned, the US is the single largest market. Just to share some statistics of how the US government supports space companies. We all know SpaceX, right? And SpaceX was started in 2006. And from 2006 to 2021, December, SpaceX had received $8.1 billion, not million, billion dollars of grants and projects from NASA, US Department of Defense, and US Air Force. So
wow, sir.
My question
this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, sir. I mean, it is just that we as regular people receive all the information when it comes in media, either a newspaper or maybe any specific news channel. So definitely you belonging to the industry have definitely more insights about this. I mean, this was unbelievable that we have 25 startups in India. So please, over to you. I just engaged and interrupted out of excitement.
So what happens is that the new Indian Space Act is coming up with the government is relaxing the participation of the private sector into the space programs. And that is augmenting well for the country. And I'm sure there will be a lot more private companies. Because as you see across the various technologies in space, right, a lot of opportunities, a lot of platforms to be developed. And especially, as I mentioned earlier, we are one of the 6 countries with designed to launch capability in space. So we are going to provide, I think India is going to be the backbone for the global space industry, just like we are the backbone for the global IT or the information technology industry, because of the sheer number of engineers that we bring out every year. We just need to have many companies like AADYAH and other new startups that provide that launch platform for these young engineers who are coming out to specialize in the space sector.
Thank you so much, sir. There's one more question that I have for you, Dr. Shaju. Rocket science, space technology, exploration missions, Mars exploration, rover mission, rockets, polar satellite launch vehicles, GSLV, geosynchronous satellites, all these terms really are so complicated in speaking. I'm sure the engineering behind these things that you people have worked for quite some time now are even more intricate and even more detailed. So this was just out of a concern that I have as an Indian consumer from the student's point of view. Is it that 2 years of MTech program in space technology would be more than enough for students to have a hands-on experience so that they are in a position and condition to actually take up something of this complicated nature in their career prospects?
Yes, should I answer?
Yeah, please, Pradeep.
Yeah. See,
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. All yours. We are all yours, sir. We are all yours.
See, all the terminologies which you have used,
yes,
they are utilized at some time or the other. Once somebody becomes part of a course like space technology,
yes,
certainly they will be familiar with all these things, irrespective of their branch of origin, maybe electrical, mechanical, civil, as I told. And you'll be surprised, even civil also is required for the space technology. I'll tell you where.
yes.
Okay.
Sir.
So thing is, once, as I earlier also I told, interdependency of the different branches, that will be made very clear once we are doing the sort of a course in space technology. To take it forward, it's up to you. You may not be in a position to design a rocket immediately after coming out of that course. Certainly, you can pick up some particular branch of activity of the launch vehicle design, satellite design, which you can really take it forward. And because as you told so many terminology, you know, that polar thing and then geostationary, all these terminologies will be known. And once these terminologies are known to the future space engineers, they will certainly will be at least they're exposed to what is that they are going to work. Certainly this MTech, they cannot design a rocket, but they will be having a clear approach, which are the how we are interdependent in their making.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Pradeep. Thank you. It was really very insightful.
And I think one message I would like to tell all participants, ultimately, whether you become an automotive or automobile engineer or a space scientist, it all depends on your passion.
Yes.
If you're passionate about a sector or a field, you can contribute and then become the best in that. But it's all boils down to passion. I'm sure all of us endorse that. Elon Musk is not a space scientist per se, right? He's a regular engineer, but he has created electric cars. He has created SpaceX. He has created Tesla, right? And so it's just the passion that makes the difference. It's not essentially your 2 years. And I don't think he's a master's. He's not a postgrad either. He's a regular engineer, but then he has gone and created, and so it again boils down to passion.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Of course, it's the passion. I mean, if you pursue something which is your passion as your career, definitely the level of proficiencies which you can achieve is definitely unparalleled to something which you do not like or maybe are just doing out of compulsion.
Yeah.
So next, I guess Dr. Malcolm would be the best person to answer this one question that I have. So Dr. Malcolm, is there any prior experience in the field of space technology that a student should have so that he becomes eligible or maybe confident before joining this MTech in Space Tech program? Over to you, sir.
No, they don't need prior background, but it would be helpful if students have some science or some aspect of engineering, mathematics behind them, but they don't need anything specifically about space. No.
Okay, Dr. Claus. So next, we have a question from BTech in Consumer Technology. Dr. Kelvin, the students want to know what exactly are the job prospects available once they complete their 4 years of BTech in Consumer Technology. What sectors of the market they can expect to have employment opportunities and options. I mean, anyone from Dr. Vijay's team also can take this answer, but yes, yes, Dr. Kelvin. Yes, Dr. Kelvin.
Yeah, the job prospects, the jobs are much. You'll be doing jobs related to healthcare, also agriculture, packaging industry, food sterilization, environment, public health related jobs. Then in education, of course, it's very, very broad. It all depends on the there are a lot of jobs. It's all dependent on which area the student want to focus on after graduation.
I will add something else. Can I? Yes, sir.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So, industrial demand make mostly food scientist, nutrition therapist, a media specialist, industrial space technology industries. So we can go for the e-learning specialist, for a health and safety engineer, health informatics specialist. So these are industries want from the consumer technology. We can go for also research and development professional and research technologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. So these basically are the prospects and the options which students can unravel once they are proficient enough and do understand the nuances of consumer technology. Of course, that is going to take quite some time, approximately 4 years of your engineering, some good amount of internships, some good industry opportunities. And yes, so this definitely was very insightful and very much helpful for our students. Next, Dr. Phillip Scott. So I would just want to understand what exactly would be the role of Wales Institute and their contribution to the course modules, and what is it that students can expect from WIDI?
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Yash. So as I mentioned earlier, WIDI is a collaboration between 2 universities, and the third partner in that is the National NHS Agency for IT called Digital Health and Care Wales. So there's a wealth of practical frontline experience of current digital projects in healthcare services, as well as the connections that we bring through other professional bodies, both national and international. So in other words, what we're able to bring in is the very latest current experience in not just in Britain, but also the US, Canada, Europe, and elsewhere. So it's a kind of network of networks where we're able to bring that level of expertise into the course and make sure that it's up to date, but also so that students can kind of realize what's been tried before. And, you know, because often in healthcare, things have been tried and haven't worked so well, so we can learn from those mistakes to make things better in the future. And like our previous speakers were saying about passion, again, healthcare is a topic where people have a great passion to, you know, make lives better, to save lives, to improve quality of life, to prevent diseases, to save people that might otherwise die from some incurable condition. So healthcare is an area where you're really making a difference. You're actually, you know, improving quality of life, and it's something that brings a great deal of satisfaction. So I think the WIDI contribution is very broad, and it's something we'll be developing over time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Scott. There's one more short question that I have for you. So, what exactly could be the research papers and the patents to which our students would be exposed once they start off with their BTech programs?
Sure. So there's a very rich set of literature. So the stuff that, for example, the papers I've written have been around some of the changes in health technology during the pandemic that were also mentioned earlier, as well as things like information standards. How do we make sure that health data that's created in Britain is compatible with health data that's created in India or Australia or America? Because ultimately we're thinking about the health of the world. And when we're thinking about research, when we're thinking about machine learning, we want to be able to have as much data as possible to be able to develop algorithms that don't just work in America, they don't just work in Britain, they work in Europe, they work in India, they work in China. So interoperability is an important thing, and that comes down to data standards, terminology standards, how we represent drugs. So simple things like, we in English we can say the word penicillin and we know what that means, but how does a patient record system in India know that the word penicillin means the same thing as it does in one in Germany or one in Japan? So we have to have coding schemes to allow computers to be able to share that information in a meaningful way and in a safe way, because of course, in the same way in which a rocket has to be safe if it's got astronauts in it, a hospital has to be safe and the hospital information systems have to be safe, so we don't give the wrong drug to the wrong person. So that there's a number of these kind of safety issues, as well as the data standards, information standards, and usability, so that we're actually helping doctors and nurses do their jobs better, rather than sometimes technology in the past has got in the way. So we're learning how to make that more efficient in the future.
Thank you so much, sir. So, health technology these days, when it comes to taking into consideration all the economies of the world, health technology is an industry or an avenue wherein one of the biggest amount of investments is being done by many organizations. And that is but evident by the fact that wearables, smartwatches, smart bands are very fancy. They're getting too fancy these days. People are using them more for their good looks rather than using them for their health purposes. In fact, there's an organization called as Ultra Human, which I'm not sure whether you would have heard about this company or not, but they've come up with a really innovative product wherein a specific amount of a thin sensor, needle-like sensor is inserted into your body, which has a battery life of 14 days. And yes, all your physical parameters, your blood sugar, your health problems, your heartbeat, and everything is taken care of that by that sensor. And once it's done, once this battery drains off, you actually can put one more sensor in your body. So these innovations are really changing day on day. There was a point in time when 5 years from now, smart fitness bands were in trend. Now there are fitness rings that people are wearing. So what exactly is the current trend that is expected to be 10 years from now, and how is it that people could keep up with these changing trends? Because these trends are having very short span of life, sir. Right? They're changing completely. Maybe in the coming 5 years, the fitness bands would become obsolete, and maybe there's something else which people are using.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you need to draw a distinction between the kind of the fancy gadgets that come and go versus the more strategic innovations which actually make a difference and actually improve the healthcare of the population. So you're always going to get the latest new invention, the latest new thing on the market, and maybe it's good, maybe it's not so good. But the more important things are going to be, like I said before, connecting these devices up. So if you've got some sort of monitoring device, it doesn't matter whether it's blood pressure or heart rate or blood sugar or anxiety level or whatever it might be looking at. The crucial thing is then connecting that data so that data is able to be connected up to records held by the hospital, records held by the general practitioner, records held by a nurse or a pharmacist, so that we can get a joined up picture of what's happening with people. So that means both for the treatment of the individual, it's getting based on a complete view of what's happening to that individual person and their biology and their physiology. But also then that means that data can be aggregated at a population level so that we can do the the machine learning that we need to do to understand population health trends, things like antibiotic resistance and overcoming that through reducing the use of antibiotic drugs. So I think it's about the strategic value, and the things that will win out are the things that become connected and become part of a health ecosystem.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Scott. Thank you so much. It was really, I'm sure it was very insightful and very, very engaging for all our joinees today. So moving ahead with the final question, I guess I would be the right person to take this question, which again comes to the end of the day, is that it is finally the placements which is a point of prime concern for we as Indians, because every student, every parent is actually concerned not about the quality of the campus, the infrastructure, the education content and everything. It is just the placements that work out. So yes, our placement is at par with the expected level of placements, the expected level of multinational corporates, startups, and all the organizations that are coming across various institutes in the country. And yes, we definitely have certain tie-ups with some organizations wherein definitely the best set of placements can be expected out of us. So placements definitely is of no point worth discussing, because it definitely is something which we have taken care of, and it's a legacy that we have. I mean, I'm sure DY Patil Group does not need any specific elaborations on the level of placements that we have. And yes, we are a daughter university from the same group, right? And yes, when it comes to the salaries, I'm sure, I mean, salaries again at par with the market standards, and definitely we have certain set standards wherein organizations beyond a specific amount of budget are only allowed to attend our campus for placement purposes. So yes, we do not compromise on the quality of placement just for filling in the numbers. We do not compromise on the quality. We have only 30 students. We have a limited number of students for these programs, and that's one reason why we have realized that yes, it is not the quantity that we are going to work for, it is the quality of students that you generate who actually would add into the gross domestic product of our company, of our nation, and definitely prove worth in their own segments with great job opportunities, with great success stories, and with great financial stabilities in the coming years of your life. By this, I guess we are almost at the end of this session. If in case anybody has any queries, definitely you can post your queries into the chat box. I'm sure I would be very all ears to answer all your questions, and I would share these questions with the right set of dignitaries available over here. But before we wind up, this actually is not a goodbye from us, and we need to stay connected. We need to be connected. So here are our coordinates, which definitely would be showing up on your screen. We are a very social university. We want to engage over the social media. You can expect to see us at all of the social media platforms, whether it's Facebook or it's Twitter or it's LinkedIn or it's Instagram. You actually can take a screenshot of this screen and definitely can reach out to us over a mail. You could reach out to us on our phone number, and definitely we would engage the right person to help you regarding any specific issues or information that you guys are expecting out of us. The admission process to all these programs is common, wherein we have an online application form which needs to be filled on our website, www.adypunuovos.com. You can check upon the program brochure for Nuovos. You can check upon your specific interested program details over there on the website. Post which, if you feel this is something which definitely is going to work, which I am sure is going to work for you, you can click on the Enroll Now button on our website. You can put in on your details. You can go ahead with the payment process. Post which, our academics team would actually contact you, would get engaged in with you. We'll share the exact details of the online test that you would guys have to take, the online interview process. Post which, everything turns around and the performance is amazing. You definitely can expect an offer letter from our university. Thank you so much, everyone. It was really very amazing to have this interaction with you guys. It was an amazing and an engaging session. Please visit our website for elaborative program details and internship opportunities. Till then, hoping to see you soon. Take care of yourself. Stay smiling. Take care of your family. Have good food. Enjoy your Sunday. The rest of the day is yours. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.